All right, we're gonna kick off. We're gonna talk a little bit about last couple days, the hobby, really talk about the vault, specifics in and around the vault, further developments that are coming there, and then the collaboration that you guys have been working on now for a little bit of time. First I'm gonna just start with you, Skee. You got into town, I think maybe yesterday.
Last night I came straight
last
to
night.
see you.
How was the day?
Man,
Give
it's
me
been
some.
incredible. Like what I love about the National is just the energy, right? Like we all see the cards. We all know these really cool activations that are happening, especially at the eBay booth. Right? Right?
Yep.
But it's really about the people, right? Like us all, especially after COVID, realizing how important it is for us to get together and seeing that energy and that excitement. And we saw it, like, even with what you guys are doing, like at Gary's booth, like he's out there loving it. Like he's like, this energy, he's on the text, this energy is real, right? Like that's what it's about. And that's why it's so great to be here. And so great to see all you guys, especially to connect in person with a lot of people that we just talk to online, on Instagram, on, different forums and message boards and things. So it's great to be here in person. And that's what I'm so thankful for that we're here for tonight.
I agree. I think it's the Instagram, the connections, the networking, kind of this digital nature that has really engulfed and moved into the hobby. I think it's a good transition in terms of the vault. And, even there's been like running jokes of people say like, oh, Mike Trout's getting into the hobby. They're like, how do you know? Oh, someone said they bought some cards and shipped them to them direct.
Yeah.
But, now with this notion of all these different platforms to be communicating and how do you transact, and I think that's where the vault is going to start to really come in for an ease of those transactions. And would just love to hear your kind of point of view. What is the vault representing? How important is it to eBay, and where do those things stand?
Yeah, so the vault is, for me, the vault is just another tool of a slew of tools that we've put out there recently. And for eBay, the way we think about this is we've been in business for 26 years. One of my best sellers, I don't know if he's here today, Mike C. from MC Sports Cards. He started when he was 14, right? So when you've got 26 years of experience, you're also buying from sellers who have years of experience out there, and so you're getting all of that benefit. And then what we're trying to add to it is tools that will remove some of the friction of the hobby, right? We think that I know that the hobby's super strong right now. We see all the super secret numbers behind the scenes that gives me a lot of confidence in what's happening with the hobby right now. Last year was crazy. Everyone knows that last year was just bonkers. At one point, the numbers that I can share, and they're staggering, is 2020 we did $2 billion in sales in trading cards. 2021 we did $2 billion in sales by the first half of the year. So the whole thing was going insane. There was 2 cards being sold every second. Like it was just velocity. It was what we call ASP, average sale price. It was all of these things was just on fire. Yeah. It's still strong. The market is still good. The buyers are still there. The velocity is still there. The hobby is strong, and we're adding these tools every day, and the vault is one of those. And so like collection management, price guide, some of the things that we've been doing around some trust initiatives in the vault, it's all about removing the friction from the process. Yeah. And when I think about friction, it's funny, we were at the National, because the National, it's one of the greatest events I get to go to, right? But it's filled with friction. You gotta bring all your boxes of cards. You've got to go find the guy who wants to buy and sell. Your back starts to hurt. But it's killer because it's also an experiential thing. And we would never want to replace that because that experience is amazing. But for the other 360 days of the year, I want to make sure that people can enjoy the hobby with as much ease as possible. And so the vault is a piece of that.
And on the buyer side, how are you guys ingraining that? How are you marketing? How are you communicating, from the consumption of, maybe what it's going to be a newer experience to go on the platform, purchase a card that's in the vault, take ownership of that, while also not necessarily receiving it. And how are you guys thinking about that for the consumers?
Yeah, by the way, my name is Rick Ung, leading product for collectibles for eBay. So in that, we're trying to build the experience throughout the entire journey. So from the moment that you go on Google, you search for vault, you're able to land on our landing page, learn about the vault, really understand why we're offering it, to the point where you then can enroll. And then as you actually search and go on these item pages looking at these cards, you can actually see that the card is either already in the vault or that it's eligible for the vault. And so really the whole strategy is to make sure that everyone is really aware of it all throughout that entire process. You buy the card. Once you buy the card, you get a notification that it's about to go into the vault. Or actually, it's going to get authenticated first, and then it's going to go into the vault. And then finally, when it is in the vault, you can actually go and see that it's there. And so last year, one of the things we announced at the National was Collection, which is still in beta, and we're really building it out. And you'll see in a few months that it's going to be a lot better. But in Collection, you can actually access your vault, as well as all the other cards that you've bought and are storing, whether at home or anywhere else.
And will that have almost like a profile view in terms of, I may be able to check out what Skee's got sitting in his vault in that regard?
Yeah, I think what you're getting at is, can you actually share your collection with others, let them see what's there, let them actually offer a trade eventually. So those are the things that are going to be coming down the pipeline. They're not for this year, but they're definitely on our roadmap.
Yeah, one of the things that was super important to us is one of the cooler events I was able to go to was with a Bleecker Street trade night, right? And seeing
shout out Bleecker, shout out Bleecker, shout out Bleecker.
And being able to see everybody having that social interaction. And we don't want to remove the social interaction. Like, we want people to know who they're buying cards from. We want people to be able to check other people's collections eventually and maybe make offers. If I see Skee sitting on like one of his dearest
Any
cards.
Minnesota cards, right?
Yeah. You've got a Kirby, or maybe I've got a Kirby pucket that you don't have, right? I want you to reach out to me and say, hey, let's make a deal. So I think that social interaction is important. We're going to figure that out towards the future as well.
I think that's the connection and understand the high, or not the high-low, but the in-person and then digital, I think is going to make everything far more even enhanced. Because when you get together, it is all that more special, these trade nights, these events, but then the more stickiness on the digital side will be important.
Well, once it's all digital, you can have a trade night anywhere, right? You could be having a trade night at the pizza place. You start having a conversation
We
about,
were
hey,
doing some of those on Zoom.
We were literally in the pandemic, we were on Zoom doing trade nights, right? Like, everybody hop on, let's do it.
Bring your Excel sheet, put up a card. Yep.
Yeah, it was not as easy, and that's what tools like this are going to be so nice when they're finally unveiled to the public.
Yeah, how Skee? You talked to me about
Yeah.
your usability. You've been messing with it a little bit. What's the experience, and what are you most excited about in terms of using the vault?
I mean, I love the vault. It couldn't come soon enough for me. It's just such an obvious play for any collectors. Like, for me, for several reasons, I don't want to have. I have way too many cards, like many people in here. And I forget what I have, so I love being able to go on my collection. I'm on the beta, so I was just looking right now to see what's in there, and always like look at any time and be like, oh, damn, I have that card, and here's what the values are, and a lot of other data behind that. It's so cool to not have to worry about like shipping it. Like, as we know, like, we're dealing with high-profile cards, and anytime you ship them to the mail, every time that's there, like, I'm always nervous until it shows up to the post box. And I have like a mailbox that everything's shipped to. Yeah. So then it's like, it has to be shipped to me, and then I have to like hope that they don't take it and all those things. And now it's just shipped it's just directly to the vault, which is so nice. And now when I'm buying stuff on eBay, right, like I get the option to just ship it straight to my vault. And it shows up in my collection instantly. And if somebody else has the card in the vault, it's instantly transferred, right? So it's like there in real time. And then for me, my favorite part is just because not like, I used to be the kid when I was a kid, right? Like on eBay all the time, buying, selling. Now I'm just on eBay buying. I don't have time to sell and ship and deal with that. And like, I'd sit on cards and like, say a player would have an incredible night or incredible game. I'm like, I want to get rid of it. The way that it would have to work before is that I have to dig through my stash, see what I even have, because I don't even know. I think I've got a card of, say it's Josh Allen, right? Like, I know I got it. Where do I go? Then I have to list it, take pictures. Like, man, it's easy, but it's still a process. And then I have to ship it out once it's sold. And now I'm able to like be like, oh, he had a good game. Go on my phone. Like, literally while we're sitting here, I could list some stuff up for it. So it's just such an easy, natural process and such a great product. The security that eBay provides is second to none. They're the largest company in the space, so I don't have any like worries about anything happening to it. It's stored, it's secure. I don't have to worry about it being on me, right?
Where is it?
Where is it?
Yeah.
It's in Delaware,
It's
which is a state without sales tax. Yep. So transactions that occur in Delaware and stay in Delaware, you're not going to have any sales tax attached to those. So.
Which, by the way, I totally forgot about that. I didn't even realize that. That's incredible, but it's so good even without those things. Like, you guys could charge me, but don't. Like, that's better.
Can I go to the vault and view my collection?
It's digital in your collection on the eBay app. We're not going to have anyone go to the vault. There's a funny story about I think our president going there and literally getting stink-eyed by security and going through like multiple phases.
That badge doesn't work.
And the guy's like, "Hey, I own the building. Can I just go in there and see how things are going?" And he couldn't get in. So it's not a visitable place, but we don't think that's necessary. We think digital collection will be the way that people can share what they have with anybody at any one time and give you the confidence that it's there. Who knows? In the future, maybe we do things, out of the vault, whatever, transactions, live streaming, something like that. But for now, no.
Yeah, and the way that I use it, right? Like I have a few cards that I love and that I want to look at, so I have those shipped to me. But for the majority of cards, right? Like it becomes a burden having to deal with them. Worrying about like fire, theft, insurance, and all these other details that add up, especially the more and more cards that you get. So it's so easy just having them in your pocket for so many reasons.
Rick, what are some of the main things you've seen from just the habits of buyers? I would imagine has changed drastically over the last couple years, 3 years. What are some of those things that you're seeing? How are you trying to incorporate that? I'd imagine mobile obviously is becoming a big thing. Access to data is becoming a big thing. Being able to see other similar items, listed at the same time. What are some of the things you're paying attention to, either digitally or as you walk the show, that you're looking to incorporate into the business?
Yeah, I think that the thing that people most care about is security and trust. Just making sure that what you buy is actually real, that that it wasn't trimmed, or that the slab wasn't tampered, or the card, if it's a raw card, ungraded card, that it's in the condition that you thought it was when you bought it, right? And so all the things that we're doing are really centered around that. Really, like if you think about vault, it's that when the card goes into the vault, before it goes in, it's actually authenticated first, so that it's real. We take high resolution photos of it, so you can actually see exactly what you're getting, right? And just more broadly, the authenticity guarantee program is actually geared at making sure that people have confidence that what they're buying online, which is a big trend, is what you get. So those are some of the things that I see. Also, just making sure on our platform that's safe and secure. Obviously, auctions are a big deal because auctions are really how you find out what the value of the card is. But if the auction isn't real, then that compromises the value of the card. And so we're doing a lot around just making sure that the buyers who are bidding are actually real buyers, and that the transaction is consummated. So as you see, Bob mentioned last year, the whole industry exploded. And so with that, there are a lot of people trying to game things, and so that's something we're really trying to get ahead of.
The collaboration that you guys it's been ongoing.
Yep.
The last show, I believe it was last year.
A year ago this time is when it all started.
You kicked off kind of the foil set and collectible. We have an exclusive one here for
that
the
one's
event.
so cool.
But yeah, would love to hear maybe Bob. It starts with you. Just your thoughts on collaborating with individuals like Skee in the space and the importance of the authentic relationship, with the community in that regard.
So we're fans first of the hobby, right? And full credit to some of the things that Topps was doing, and still doing. Some of the Project 70s, all of those kind of things, super, super cool, right? And that's where we became aware of Skee. Some of the other guys we've worked with, King Saladin, had a great conversation with Lauren Taylor today, who just does like stunningly beautiful work. And I just love I love the expansion of the hobby into more artistic, singular kind of visions of what they could be, and so that whole thing was fascinating. And Skee picked up the phone basically, right, and was willing to talk, and we challenged him with a task, and he did some really fun stuff for us. So it's been a great relationship. He's easy to work with. He does amazing work. Everything for anyone who wants to come find me tomorrow, we still have a couple from last year.
What?
Yeah, a couple. We found them.
Oh, I might come find you tomorrow, but
we
don't
found
say
some
that.
boxes lying around. I was looking at those and just like staring at them. They were so cool, and the ones he did this year are so on point for the area that we're in and everything. Anyways, amazing talent and joy to work with. So he's been great, and he's one of the many people that's just pushing the hobby forward. Full credit to the brands out there too. They're doing amazing things with the cards, the finishes, all of that kind of stuff. They're really just pushing it forward. But for me, I don't want everyone to turn around and make this creepy. But the thing that's really pushing it forward are like those little guys back there.
Yeah.
They're like busy right now.
So awesome.
Doing
My man,
trades
Luke.
and stuff. They have no idea we're even talking about them.
Luke, where you at, Luke? Luke.
Right.
I know they're focused.
He's focused. He
It's
can't
like
even
there's
come up.
some heavy duty stuff happening over there.
That
But
there
anyways,
is.
like that's also the future.
Yeah.
Those guys are going to keep pushing everything forward. And again, we just want to make tools that they're happy to use. And so that's the goal.
It's there's a lot of interconnectivity too, also in terms of just the product lines. On our show, so much of what we talk about is these alt sports, these niche sports. I was just chatting with a buddy who was doing Premier League lacrosse cards, and obviously F1's been a huge thing. You were just telling me I think soccer might be up to number 4. That's been a huge thing for me.
Yeah, I'll share some insider stuff really fast. So the big 3 are still the big 3: football, basketball, and baseball.
Yeah.
And they ebb and flow based off of the seasons,
Seasonality,
right?
yeah.
So, but between the 3 of them, there's always a lot of energy. Football's picking up right now.
Yeah.
Baseball's been strong. Basketball will pick up again, that kind of thing. Soccer's become our number 4. And no knock
Let's
on
go.
hockey.
That's my.
No knock on hockey at all. It's just soccer's
Working on it.
Soccer's been amazing, and we're excited about the World Cup happening. We think people are going to know some
Yeah.
of those guys. But some of the other sports that you talked about, tremendous growth. F1's out of control. MMA and UFC,
Yeah.
super
I think
big.
tennis is going to be back
Tennis
in
is
the mix
big,
in a
golf
big
is
time.
big.
Golf, yep.
And Premier Lacrosse, I didn't know that was even a thing. That'll probably be something.
Yeah, we have the Play of the Week segment that we do that we work with you guys on. That's someone made like a 15,000 right here. He won our Play of the Week off a lacrosse
Nice.
play.
What's the play? Well,
Some Premier League lacrosse stuff.
that's fire.
So yeah, I'd imagine the optionality is also finding an interesting niche in terms of the marketing and how you're connecting with all the different cohorts
Yeah.
of consumers. Marvel's obviously had a big year.
You're forgetting Pokemon. If you
Yeah.
if
You're
you
so right.
if you're looking at our international markets,
Yeah.
Pokemon is where it's at. That's really what everyone's buying. If we sell all across the world. If you look at France, Italy, Japan, all these international markets, Pokemon is like it's.
Yeah.
You'd be amazed at how much of our sales come from that.
It's a Jim Brown,
Mikey Powell
Mikey Powell.
dual auto. So Jim Brown is
Wow.
on record saying that Jim Brown played lacrosse at Syracuse as well as football, and he's on record saying lacrosse is his favorite sport. Mikey Powell was like the hot shot 2-time best player in the nation at Syracuse. So that's why that's a dual auto. It's a fun card.
That's a killer
Crazy.
card.
Yeah. So yeah, it's what's in terms of just where we stand, and I'm not sure how we're doing time wise, but where we stand with the vault as of today. If I go on eBay and if I purchase a car back at the hotel at night, because I might not be playing blackjack till 2:15 again tonight. But what is the current process as a buyer and options available for the vault?
Well, first you need to register for the vault. You got to
Okay.
enroll, and so you go through an enrollment process, and we require 2-factor authentication.
Smart.
So you need to have a phone. So we make sure that if you're buying something and then you're putting it in the vault, or if you want to sell from the vault, you are who you are. No one is taking possession of that item except for you,
Yep.
right? So there's an enrollment process. So if you're enrolled, you go to an item. Right now, eligibility for the vault is any card over $500,
Yep.
graded single card, graded by PSA, SGC, Beckett,
Okay.
the CCG affiliates,
Yep.
CSG, CGC.
Mhm.
And then what you can do is if you do buy it now or if you do auction, before you even get to the checkout page, we ask you, do you want to send it to the vault?
Yeah.
All right? And then on checkout, you have the option of sending it to the vault. And so if you do that, you'll get a confirmation that it's going to vault. And then throughout the whole process, we'll tell you where the card is,
Yeah.
right?
And is it just sports cards at the moment? Are we tickets? Are we anything graded?
No, not tickets yet. Right now, it's just trading cards. That does include collectible card games
Yep.
like Pokemon
Yep.
and Magic and so on.
Sweet. And then the kind of collection is in beta or is looking to come out soon?
Yeah, well, you can still access collection. So what ends up happening is the card will then go to an authenticator.
Yep.
At the authentication site, we actually take the high-res photos. So you'll see photos of the card before it even gets into the vault. And then it gets shipped to the vault, and
Yeah.
once it's there, it gets placed in, it's
That's so sweet.
in the vault.
But we're super excited about the future too, right? Like, we've just made investments into NFT. We've just become a partner with Funko.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that we can add to the vault eventually.
I know that.
I mean, Funko, art, toys, vinyl,
Yeah.
coins.
Obviously, watches.
You know,
there's
we're-
so many different
Sneakers.
for sure.
Trading cards is sort of the spearhead of the
Yeah.
collectible movement for us. We're kind of learning there, and then we'll expand as appropriate. And then we're super excited about figuring out how to connect NFT to the whole process as well.
It's gonna happen fast. I'm excited for that combo too. I want to wrap it up with just a natural hobby thing. We're all gonna be spending time, I believe, at the show tomorrow. What's something you're looking forward to as just a hobbyist? What's on your mind going to the show? Any card you're looking for, or what's your day looking like?
I'm always looking. I'm excited to see everybody. I'm going to be doing a signing at the eBay booth 1 o'clock tomorrow. And I'm really excited about this release that we have, too. So you can see cards away. We're giving them away in all the gift bags as well, so you can see it. But it's inspired by two of the biggest baseball scandals of all time. Atlantic City was a little tougher to find inspiration from, just as there's no pro sports teams, not much music, and all my cards take both of those. Last year, for reference, was Kanye West, and inspired with all the four biggest Chicago sports moments. City didn't have that, so instead, what we did was go back to like the Boardwalk Empire era, and even if you look at like the shoeless card, it's actually it looks very similar to an HBO poster, right? Like in terms of the layout of it. Like there's a lot of like little hidden details. So it's so fun to go in and make these cards. And because it's inspired by the 1920s, right? 1919, like it only made sense to do it T206 size. And a lot of people have never seen a T206 style card. So I thought it'd be so fun. And we add in all these crazy foils. And for you guys get special 137 editions tonight in your gift bag if you haven't checked it out. And I think there's actually 4 backs for it. And these ones also have different foil on the front, a different back, because the T206 all had different backs. They're cigarette cards. So there's like, literally that Honus Wagner card that's so famous, there's like 20 different backs. So people might not. We also did like a real limited variation that's already selling on eBay there's been a few sales for some higher numbers. So we're literally like printing money basically at the booth for you guys tomorrow. But I'm excited to sign and hang out and see you guys. And it was so fun to design the booth. And big shout to eBay. They have, to Ty's point, right? Like they have such a great team all the way around. Like they're so open to allowing us and me as a creator do what I do, right? Without a ton of feedback. A lot of time when you work with big corporate brands, it's like a lot of hoops, and it would be like, you know, for the average brand, like their logo front and center with like something that's not that cool and you guys wouldn't want. Instead, I'm like, hey, here's the idea. And you know how much feedback and pushback I get from them? It's like, can we print it? I'm like, wait, where's the feed? I'm so used to like feedback and everything, even like events. And for a big company to not do that, like they've been so awesome to work with. So I'm excited to be there and design the booth. The booth is really fun and looks crazy there. And other than that, I'm going to be hunting down a bunch of cards. Always like Minnesota stuff, and like King Griffey Jr. and like 90s inserts. So if you got anything cool, come holler at me. So.
Good stuff. Over to you.
Well, I'll be at the booth most of the day because I love, it's boring, but I love to take advantage of these kind of moments to talk to people. A lot of the tools that we've put in place have come from people just talking to me about, hey, here's an issue I have, and then this is why we've got the product team here. We didn't used to do that either, but we'd like, you guys got to listen to these guys firsthand and hear the things that they need to run better businesses. And that's a big piece. I very quietly on the down low am looking for the downtown cards. I think that's my next big target to try to complete, but they're steep, so I don't know. It's going to be a challenge.
Is it Burrow? Is he in the big jacket? I'm trying to think. There's some sweet. The Minnesota. There's some good Minnesota.
I have one of the throwback. I think the Randy Moss one, right? They did Randy Moss.
Everything Randy Moss is just fresh. Randy Moss, Randy Johnson, Mike Vick. Those dudes are just sweet.
So for me, it's just connecting with people, just seeing what's happening. Just as Bob said, just learning from people, understanding like what we could do better. But you know, DJ Skee, I think you're a Minnesota guy. I'm a Boston guy, and so I'm a Celtics fan. I've been watching Celtics since Larry.
Boston.
I've been watching it since
KG.
Larry Bird was playing, and you know, you had Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish was hitting the fadeaway jumper. So tomorrow, Bob is going to be talking to Grant Williams of the Boston
sweet.
Celtics. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Nice.
There's a lot of Minnesota-Boston sports overlap. We give them all their best players that give them to championships. David Ortiz, rookie card, is a Twins one. Kevin Garnett, we know what happened. So yeah,
Kevin McHale.
Kevin. Yeah, we took him a little after, but you guys had him early. Yeah, that's true. He came from Minnesota, so.
Card Talk is a New York-based, New Jersey-based platform, just so everyone is aware. None of this Boston sports chatter, all right? Listen, I appreciate everyone. Have a great time. Have a great evening. Settle in, meet some people, have a drink. Big thanks to the eBay team. Big thanks
Thank you.
to Skee for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, all the best.